So the clear advantage that Saudi has with respect to the rest of the region is the size of their market. It's a massive market relatively here in the MENA region. And then on top of that, the demographics within Saudi, it's a very, very young population. So starting up a new technology business, Saudi is clearly a market that you would want to focus on. The question is, how do you go about it? Do you want to set that company up and run out of here, or do you want to run out of Riyadh or Jeddah or something like that? And I think that's an open question. I think the folks in Saudi have made a lot of progress, but I think the folks here in the UAE have been at it for longer, and so therefore they just have an advantage in that respect. And I guess it's an open question of whether the folks in Saudi will catch up. But between the two, because there's obviously a lot of synergies between the two countries, I'd be very bullish. So yeah, it's all about the size of the market, and that's clear, and it's not going away, and it's only accelerating, it seems like. I think it's a very interesting time here in the region. So with the outcomes like Careem, with Souk, and some others that have happened here in the relatively recently, what's happened is that there's been a handful, well, probably more than a handful. There've been, I would guess, somewhere in the order of 50 to 100, maybe more, of folks that worked at these companies that had a good outcome financially, but they didn't have a life-changing outcome financially. But they worked at an amazing, growth-oriented technology company. So essentially, they've had a taste of an entrepreneurial outcome. But again, not a life-changing taste. So I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of these entrepreneurs that were at these various companies that have had these outcomes, and I think they're going to be out starting their own companies. And that's what you really need when you're trying to start a new ecosystem, is you need to have one big outcome, and in this case, you've had multiple here in the region, and that's going to spawn and give birth to this next wave of entrepreneurs. And so that's very exciting. So that's the entrepreneur side. The other side is the venture capital side. And so, we're involved with a lot of different venture capital funds back in the Bay Area and California and the United States in general. And so in the US, as an example, the competition amongst capital in Silicon Valley is very, very intense. And so it's almost a bidding war at times amongst various VCs with respect to hot companies. Here, the competition amongst capital is far, far less. Which is, when we think about it from a venture capitalist perspective, that's a great scenario. So you have a good balance between what I think is going to be the opportunity set of the entrepreneurs you can invest with, and then you also don't have an excess surplus of venture capital funds you have to compete with for those opportunities. So that balance, I think, is quite good.